This video is going to cover adding a portfolio section to our blog application, and we're going to be doing this live. This is my first time even sitting down to come up with the idea for this video, partly because I didn't have a working internet connection until 3 hours before this has to go up, but also because I think it might be helpful for you guys to see what the entire workflow is for me, bugs included. So I'm not going to be editing out any issues I run into. We're just going to do this in one take and see what happens. We're going to start by just running a generator command, because the way I'm picturing this, if I full screen this, is a scaffold for our portfolio projects. So I'm thinking we'll have a portfolio page that has many projects. So we'll say project singular. Each project will have a title. It'll have a link, which I guess we'll leave optional. And it'll have rich text as the attachment. Now I'm not actually, now for some reason I don't seem to have anything installed right now, so I'm going to go ahead and run bundle install. I'm having a really weird day right now because I just ran into an issue with Unreal Engine not finding any of my plugins, so I don't know what's happening. Okay, there we go. So now looks like we have everything. I'm going to run a Rails db migrate command to hopefully migrate the database. I have to start Postgres, so I'm going to do a sudo service PostgreSQL start. Type in my password, which could be password. You'll never know though. And hopefully this starts. Okay, and then I'll hit the up arrow key to run the db migrate command. Looks good. And now let's run a Rails s command, and hopefully this works. Come over here and we'll just refresh the page. That looks good. And for some reason I went to the Stripe page when I refreshed, probably clicked by mistake. So I guess what we can do is right up here, we'll just add a button to the projects page. So let's go into the nav bar. I'm hitting Control P to go to the nav bar. And then I'm just typing nav bar to find it. We'll do like maybe we do a drop down. I don't know. Maybe just do a link for now. So it looks like we're not really using anything else here. So let's just backspace this. I'm going to bump up the font size too and hit F11 so you guys can see. And then right here, I'll just say this is for the portfolio, and this is going to be for the project's path. And we can go ahead and refresh this, and hopefully that takes us there. I'll click on portfolio, it takes us to projects. So now what we have to do is go into the projects controller. Again, I'm hitting Control P. I'm just typing what I'm looking for. And I hope we have it, but what I kind of want to do is say before action is admin. Hopefully this is in here. And I want to do this for everything except for the, I guess the show page and the index page. There we go. Thank you, GitHub Copilot. So let's do that, refresh. I'll click new project. I'm in admin right now. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm going to hit Control Shift N and paste this in. There we go. So it redirects us, says that we're not authorized. Let me just bump this up a bit. Okay. So I'm authorized on my main account to create portfolio projects, but I also don't want this link to appear here. So let's go into the projects index page. And we have the link here. Let's just get rid of that. I'm going to hit Control Shift F to search for new project, just to see where else this appears. Okay, so we have one here in the new project form. That's fine. And then in the test, that's also fine. So that takes care of that. Let's come into the index page, save this, and I'll hit Control B to hide that sidebar, and that gets rid of it. So what I want to do now, let me zoom out a bit so I can actually see my nav bar, is when we click on the drop down, just add a button here for a new project. So let's go back into the nav bar by hitting Control Shift P. And this is in the user session manager, I guess. So we probably want to go here. I'm going to Control P, session manager, come into here. And right here, I probably have a admin check. Looks like I do. Let me full screen this. So we'll grab this admin link right here, and I guess under the new post path, we'll just do a new project path. So we'll say new project. This will go to the new _project _ path if the current user is an admin. refresh the page. If I click on this new project, that works. And if I come into a incognito tab, let me log in as john@doe.com with a password of password. And if I click on this, I only have the ability to create a new post. Okay, so that looks good to me. Now we do have the title and the link. What I'd like to do next is we can come into the project model, or I guess project.rb. And in here, I want to say this has rich text for the body, which means we're going to have to come into the project controller, scroll down to the bottom, and give this a body. And then we're going to want to go into the project form, I guess. And again, I'm just control P'ing and then typing as close to what I think it's looking for as possible to just find the forms we're looking for. And then I'm going to put this in here, or I guess find the pages that we're looking for. And instead of this being the link, this is going to be for the body. There we go. Let's come in here and refresh the page. So we have that, but this needs to be rich text area, I think. So we'll refresh, and now we have a rich text area, but we do have Bootstrap, right? So let's try. It's hard to keep track of what we've done over the weeks that I've been running this project sometimes. Let's try to put a container around everything. That looks good. Now let's maybe do a row around these. So we'll do a .row tab. And again, I'm using Emmet for the tab completion here. I do have a video on the Rails extensions I use, but if you're looking for Emmet, it's just up here in Files, Preferences, Settings, and EMMET, I think. And it's going to be Emmet tab is what you're looking for. Trigger expansion on tab, just check that, and then you can hit tab to autocomplete the same way I do. So this will put a row around these. That looks fine. So that should, in theory, do that. And then if we come in here, we can give each of these a class equal to call-6 maybe. Just something to hopefully space this out a bit more. Save that, refresh the page. That seems fine, but maybe this one should be 8 and this one should be 4. That seems fine like that. And then this one we'll just leave as optional in the actual partial. So we have this. So our first project, I'm just going to say this is for pathfindout.com with a link to, and let me make sure this still works, https://pathfindout.com. Okay, so this still works. It's just a basic pathfinding visualizer that I have up on a website somewhere. I think it's on GitHub repos. But I like this one because it has the, what is it? Not the random terrain, it has the simplex terrain. So it can just generate this cool looking terrain that we can then use like an A* search for or whatever. So I'd like to keep this and maybe include an image of it as it's working. So let's grab this. We'll come in here, we'll paste this in, and I'll just have a description that says path find out. Let me full screen this. Is a pathfinding visualizing application as seen on Deanout, or I guess Deanin.com. So let's do https://Deanin.com /pathfindout, I think. We'll just grab this and we'll create a link from this. There's a link button somewhere, right? Yeah, right here. Paste this in, click link, there we go. And for the actual link here, it'll be https://pathfindout.com. You could include like a link to your GitHub maybe if you wanted to. But in this case, I think this picture is perfectly fine. Is there a way to resize this? Probably not. So I think this is fine for now. And then we'll just say this is taken from or maybe like example of A* pathfinding with weighted terrain or something. I don't know. I've just had pathfinding on the brain recently because I've been working on Unreal Engine stuff for a game. So we have this. It's doing 2 created posts here for the notifications. That's kind of cringe, but we can clean that up. And then we have the title and the link, so we need the body here. So let's come into the project show page, or no, it's just going to be _project, right? Because they put it in a partial now. Yeah, it looks like it. We don't need a p tag or the rest of this actually. So let me just do a div with a .row maybe, or I guess we'll do .col. And we'll just leave it as a full column here. and we'll do a link to the project.body. We don't need this to be a p tag. Instead, what we can do is we can just grab this layout right here, and we'll just put this in here, and we'll leave this out of here, and we'll just replace this with the project.title.titleize just in case. And for this, we'll get rid of this, and we'll just say this is for the project.link, and this will be a link to the project.link.title. Oh, not .titleize. What am I doing? And then we'll say project.link maybe, and hopefully that'll work. Okay, so that gets us the project link right here. We don't want the titleize because it's titleizing the URL though, so we'll probably just leave it like that and leave it up to ourselves to edit this. So we have that. Let's put this in a h1 tag, and then h1. Actually, let's do h2s because we're probably going to do an h1 on the index page. So we have that. Let's refresh. That looks good. I don't think this needs to be on its own line though. And this actually needs to have a slash next to it like this. There we go. And I don't think we need this extra div now. So let's refresh this and hopefully that'll fix our formatting. I don't think it did, but okay. So now we have the col-8 here. Let's get rid of this col-8. Just leave it as a column. And everything looks a little bit wonky here. So let's do this as a col-12 and let's do this as a col-12. There we go. And then let's do like a, I don't know, HR in between them maybe, just to break it up a bit. Because it's a little weird that I put the link here, but I was just trying to show that it's like a blog page or something. Let me zoom out maybe. Don't like that I have to zoom out though. So let's put this in a container and check all of our divs here. We have the row. We need one more div right here for the DOM ID for the project. That's just if we end up using Turbo. And then let's wrap, let's do this. Let's put a div right here for a container. And then we'll just put this at the bottom here and save. And then the formatter should clean it up. So that'll move it over. Looks a little bit better. And then we have the buttons down here. I don't like those. So let's come into, I think it's the new page that has those. And yeah, so the new page has the back button, which is fine. But it's also rendering the edit button, and I am not seeing where the edit button is coming from. So that's probably under some kind of like shared or something. So this is showing up on the show page, which means if we come into, well, I guess we were looking at the partial, right? So let's go into the actual show page. There we go. You can tell I'm tired. So we'll leave the back to projects button, but we don't want the destroy button. Well, maybe we want to leave the edit and the destroy, and instead what we'll do is we'll just say only do this if current_user.admin ? And then we'll put this down here as well. Refresh the page. It didn't like that. Is current_user.admin a method? It looks like it doesn't like current user like at all. So what's up with that? Current_user is undefined. Okay, well, we got our first bug. This is normally where I'd start editing. Why is current user undefined here? We're using it everywhere else, right? There's no turbo stuff happening here as far as I can tell. current_user. Interesting. Okay, let's see. Let's get rid of this. And let's get rid of this. Save this and refresh the page. Let's just come up here and let's do a current_user.email. Let's just see if we can put that out to the screen. And where did we put that? We put that on the show page for the projects, and we're on the show page for the projects. So let me search for Dean at example. Nope. Okay. Oh, I don't have any equals. I'm dumb. Okay. So let's put the equals there, refresh the page, and then find Dean at example.com. Okay. So that's working. So maybe we don't need the comment there. Maybe instead all we need is the if current underscore user dot admin question mark. And I could go check at the nav bar, but at this point I'm just curious. Okay, so it looks like that's working. So we'll just copy this. We'll put this down here after the delete button as well, just so that we have a way to manage these if we're an admin. But then let's come in here and make sure this works if we're not an admin, and it doesn't. So if, this probably doesn't work if you're not the current user, right? If current user and admin, or what's the syntax? It's like and dot admin maybe. And dot admin, refresh. Okay, so now the buttons are hidden even if I'm not a user. There we go. So that is our optional chaining or whatever it's called. So that looks good. Let's come back to the portfolio page where we have the list of projects. Ideally, you'd have these in like a tile or a Bootstrap card or something. So let's go over to Bootstrap 5 card. Click on cards, and they probably have an example here. So like maybe one of these cards you'd put the portfolio in. In this case, I think it's fine, but maybe what we should do is come into the project index page. We have our projects, and after the actual project, we do something like a p tag where we say, this page contains my most recent projects. Feel free to look around. And then we'll end the p tag. We'll do one more p tag. And then we'll say something like, web projects contain a link to the demo, while other projects contain other relevant links. Because the issue with recruiters is they will look at this for all of 5 seconds and then they'll just click away. So if you have something that catches their eye so they know they can like go look at a demo, they're more likely to go look at it. So let's grab all of this from here up to here, tab this over, and then let's put this up here as well. So put everything into a container, and then we have this. This seems fine. Maybe we should include a link with the title though. So we have a link to the project, or we can put the link to the project up here. Maybe that's a bit better. So let's do that. Show this project, but it's below the title. So you know what? Let's get rid of the link to the project entirely. I'm not a fan, and we'll just do it like this. So I think this is fine because you're going to have all of them on the page. You could include it in the in the show page or the partial if you wanted to. But I'm not going to do that here because I think it makes more sense to just leave it like this. And instead what we'll do is we'll just have a link to the project.title. And then this will be a link to the project, which will take us here, and then this will just leave us here. So I kind of don't like that. So you could do like a back button maybe. Let's just do a back button if you're on the show page. So let's come into show.html. We have a render for the post, and then we have the comment. This is the wrong show page. Show.html for the projects. There we go. So we're rendering the project, and then we have the buttons down here. So maybe down here we, I guess we already have the back to the projects page, right? So maybe instead of that, what we'll do is we'll just say this has a class of btn-primary for the Bootstrap class, which will give us a proper back button, which will take us back to here. So that seems fine. Okay, so that takes care of all of that, and this seems good. What else could we do here? We have the links, we have the admin functionality, right? Because we can click on this. We can't edit the page unless we're an admin. I think this is good for now. So what my plan with this is, I'm not really sure what the order is, but basically I was thinking if you have multiple of these that you organize into cards or something, you can then drag and drop them into a specific order, or maybe we'll add like a order to them. That you can then update somehow so that you can sort these on your page. But I was thinking with, I should probably move this over, right? So this is in the actual, yeah, okay, so let's do that. What I was thinking was, because I did the tutorial the other day, if I open up the page here, we did that video on the Godot project where you could, oh, okay, I don't want to listen to myself talk. We did the video on the Godot project where we put a game engine into a Rails project. So you can see here, this is working as a game engine where you click buttons, takes you to the actual project, right? Yeah, okay, so basically what we did is we grabbed the entire project, threw it into a Rails app, which then lets you like run the game. The game here is just me clicking a button a bunch of times, but it lets you run the game in the actual web browser. And I was thinking it'd be cool to throw that into like a portfolio page. So maybe we'll create like a small Godot app or something, and then we'll do sorting after I have a second project up in here. So maybe that'll be next week's project. But that's going to do it for this, I guess, live coding session. Hopefully this was helpful and hopefully you learned something. It's definitely a little weird not having the comfort of editing to hide some of the mistakes, but that's just the nature of programming. Even something as simple as a basic CRUD functionality you could mess up with. So that sort of shows you how much I hide with my editing sometimes, but hopefully this was helpful, and I guess I'll see you in the next video.